Yes, yes.
So we do not really need a radio program that talks about ZATANFAA. Okay? What we need primarily is a radio program that talks about writing, because that's our business. So that's our core business, writing. Let's have a radio program that talks about writing. Then from there now, that program can mention ZATANFAA. Okay, so we mentioned I'm a member of ZATANFAA. So you're invited to a radio program, maybe they call it Saturday Night Live, well, just for lack of a better term, where you discuss books, okay, or the Writer's Circle, which we have on Radio 2, for instance. Then you go there. So you can influence these radio stations to have programs on literature within the provinces.
And the discussions on the expectations of the members that were done, I got a feeling that there's one item that we should pay attention to, and that is the issue which most of you mentioned about having something tangible to convince new members that these are the benefits of belonging to this organization. And that's something tangible for me is the very product that we are meant to propagate, that is publications, publishing. And I'm of the view that maybe even in the light of the forthcoming international conference that we are going to host, it will be important for us as ZATANFAA to be able to present to that forum the products that have come out of the efforts of making it better for a writer. And that is putting forward publications. As you were presenting, something crossed my mind that why don't we as ZATANFAA have on our budget a support to mobilize manuscripts from each province. One manuscript can be an individual manuscript written by an individual. Another manuscript can be a manuscript that has come out of a group of possible members there in that province. Now, I am thinking that we should not limit ourselves to manuscripts that will translate into a book at our level. It can be Ejerita and Mulenga that we alluded to, which is 8 pages or 12 pages. Then when we gather these manuscripts, ZATANFAA, and I think going by the entrepreneurship that was alluded to, even by our secretary, is that ZATANFAA can bring these manuscripts together, polish them up, and approach CDC and submit them. Because once they'll be submitted as manuscripts that probably are academic, so we are looking at the Ministry of Education acquiring those books. And if they did, it means that ZATANFAA will also have an income, will more or less be like a publisher that represents those interests of the writers. And it's a way of starting to prepare ourselves about self-sustainability once the donor funding comes to an end. And I think it will help quite a lot in proving to the would-be members that we mean business.
Should give them some benchmarks where to start from, so that when they are done at their level best, when we look at that, it's just a matter of marking it as done deal. That's my view. So from that viewpoint, I'm of the idea that we should give them some benchmarks, some guidelines on how to go about certain things. For example, how to write poems, how to write stories, how to write textbooks, yeah, all that.
Having power work coming in from the provinces, I feel if there was a way to even just generate material that the focal point persons and the teams that are in the provinces to use in these meetings to start creating a right
Rousing
mindset.
interest.
Yes, having interest, also getting to have a proper understanding. If we're talking about if it's a fictional story, how do you lay it down? How do you put it down together? How do you write a story that is catching and really, really interesting to a point where you bring the readers to the story itself? So if those documents could be generated and be given to people in these meetings, so that they can start working, training themselves, preparing themselves, and make small submissions, or which in these meetings they could be reading to each other and then criticize themselves. So in that process, I feel I'm seeing growth and interest coming together, so that even when all these call for submissions are made, at least people are up to good standard of saying, okay, yeah, we are ready now to contribute to the table of writing in the nation, so that even when you people could join or could come and offer even these workshops or trainings, it is it's more like just adding on or polishing up what has already started.
That's why I'm actually saying, if certain board is actually selected, of course some of us are young scholars, we are learning, and then when I write manuscript, submit it, they say this is, of course, it's not making sense. At least it will be demoralizing even members of ZATANFAA. The best way would be, at least some people, professionals, senior scholars are called, look at this document. How can it be panel beaten? How can it add value to the, if for instance, actually looking at teaching methodology of literature, teaching methodology of English, how can it actually add value? How can this material meet a learner point of need? Then they advise. Then the feedback goes back to the focal point person at the provincial level to say, this is the area, this is the perspective which you need to take. It will be helping us grow professionally and indeed later on make a difference in life. Otherwise, for quality to be quality, there must be a better way of sharpening it, redefining it.
Grammar is below par. In terms of the order required for writing poems, is below par. Instead of, so writing is attached to these technical components. Once we understand the layouts, it will be very easy for us to do better. It's like being given a layout and we begin to practice. And ZATANFAA could even now begin to have workshops that can draw people to come and learn how to write, how to make things better. Although we have open writing, I'm told.
So let us not worry about identity, but let us worry about integrity. Let's worry about dignity. Let's worry about self-concept. Let's worry about self-efficacy. How do we organize this in terms of leadership and management? So what this means, colleagues, entrepreneurs, do something new and different that can make Zambia a different nation, a better nation. Improve our standards of living. Let us share. You have different destinies. We have different callings. We have different, the cause is the same. Poverty, squalor, suffering. Everybody has gone through this historically. But how do we get rid of it? It's up to us to do something. So coming back to the text, colleagues, it is not so much writing and publishing that counts these days, but what goes into a book as content and what its value is to those who most need it.
My name is Ungu, based in Central Province, to be specific in Kabwe, and I'm a lecturer by profession. I teach literature in English. I chose to join ZATANFAA because of my interest in writing. I'm a writer. I have passion to write. I have that passion to write, and because of that passion, when ZATANFAA was advertised, I thought this is the right platform for me. Let me join and see how I can up my writing skills with ZATANFAA, especially that ZATANFAA's aim, and in terms of the aim is to promote the culture of writing. research and publishing books in Zambia. And I'm one person who is very passionate about writing, passionate about research. By virtue of being a lecturer in literature, it requires that I should be involved in research, I should be involved in publication. You know, in a university, there are three core values or business of a university or function of a university. It's dissemination, which is teaching, scholarly inquiry, and community service. So ZATANFAA comes in from that angle, that it will provide me with the necessary tools that I need to be able to write and finally publish the books. As a writer, the budding writer, so to speak, I'll get the inspiration from ZATANFAA, the writing skills, to be able to write internationally accepted books. Okay, we write, of course, research papers, we do conferences and so on, but we still need the training, the mentoring aspect from ZATANFAA to be able to do the best in terms of book publication. One greatest achievement is that I've marketed ZATANFAA in the province. To start with, in my own university, everyone knows about ZATANFAA in my university, and they are willing to join, to come on board, to be part of ZATANFAA. Why? Because they have seen what I'm capable of doing myself after joining ZATANFAA. They have seen that joining ZATANFAA has benefits. You know, it's not just about publishing a book, but that satisfaction, personal satisfaction that I've done something. I've informed the community. I've written about things that perhaps were hidden, and now they are put bare before the community. That leads to my satisfaction as a human being.
I'm Midado Kapansa Chalata. I'm a retired insurance expert, a chartered insurance practitioner. Currently, I'm not doing anything other than writing books and updating the ones that need updating. I'm a chartered insurance practitioner, like I said, retired in the 2000. And then along the way, I've joined a number of associations, the current one being ZATANFAA, which is a text and academic writers association. And of course, it seems to be the umbrella of all writing associations, going by the way we are projecting ourselves, which is quite good. And of course, encouraging young ones who are upcoming to learn from us, and of course, to share ideas, and also show us the way we should go in case we leave them out. Now, concerning my visit here, beautiful one, eye-opening, and it teaches me a lot to mingle with nature. Initially, what I thought we were going to do is to review how we have filmed from the time that we put the association into being. I thought that was going to be the end of the story. But when it came to this trip, it has broadened my perception of what we should do. Apart from writing, we should also visit nature, see how we can be one with nature and learn from it, and don't disturb nature, just like I've said here. You learn the landscape without disturbing the land where you're operating from. So I'm trying to cut it out, and I'm learning to appreciate nature. Thanks a lot to visit me. Yes, naturally, we've got 2 programs that are lined up. Number 1 is next year's annual program, and of course to review how we have performed. And apart from that, there's another one which is coming in October. It's an international conference which is sponsored by outsiders, but we are inviting neighboring countries. Zimbabwe, Malawi, Tanzania, possibly Congo will be us, including maybe Nigeria and Kenya. And of course the idea is to share ideas and of course learn how we can move forward. I would like young ones in school, colleges, universities to please join us so we can share ideas and broaden perspectives as to how we can move forward with a view to encouraging people to read and also to ride as a nation is a form of growth.
My name is Zambia, and I am a teacher, and I'm so fortunate to have another degree. I've got 2 degrees. I'm a teacher and a lawyer. But other than that, I am an author. I'm an author who has written so far 2 books on it to my name. Of course, another one has just been written. I'm working on it. Okay, yeah, it's a course book. Well, the experience was good, was awesome, and I learned a lot. And also the reports that we are given and what we have to prepare in the next coming Pan-African, which is an international symposium. And well, I learned so much in an AGM, and I'm glad I came. The time for oral tradition, it has passed. Now, we need to put everything in words, documented. So when I go that side, when I go back home, I make sure that I sit together with the rest of the people and also come up with ways in which we can actually fulfill what was discussed in the AGM. Well, I've learned so many things, and to that effect, this place, there's so many things that has to be learned. So many things, the arts, but there's one more thing that I would just want to say, just one. There's a book that I've been writing, and the title has been very difficult to bring it up, but all the idea were all together. But touring this place made me realize and come up with the title. I saw and I realized, wow, I'm here. I know I've seen so much art, and I'm appreciating. But there's just this one tree. I know it sounds crazy, but there's this one tree that I saw, and whoa, just everything was enlightened. And the title was made for the book. And now, because of the title, more ideas have come, which I need to go back, sit on my laptop, and begin to type. And so that means that this year, because the book would have taken longer, probably by next year, because it never really had the primary direction because of the title. Now that the title is there, it's coming out this year, and it's going to make a lot of noise. Look out for it. You won't go wrong.
My full names are Joseph Kembe, coming from Solwezi, Northwestern Province. A former teacher, so currently doing nothing except writing literature books for both primary and secondary schools. The experience actually has been marvelous. I have seen a lot, I've heard a lot, I've learned a lot, which added together as I go back, especially in the area of sensitizing the others, encouraging them to write. That is going to be done and it is going to be achieved. Yes, the same message that I've been giving them throughout since the time I arrived. We need, as an association, we need our own printing and publishing small company, so that instead of these books being taken to Macmillan, Longman, Zizef, and these other old ones, we can be doing that work on our own as an association.
Thank you so much. My name is Manda Levi. I'm actually coming from Northern Province of Zambia, Kasama in particular. I'm a teacher by profession, a linguist, and of course an upcoming writer. Well, the experience was quite good, because of course having attended, and I believe Northern Province was actually attending the AGM for the first time. And indeed it was actually delightful to learn of the objectives, the motto, the core business of the annual general meeting. And I was so much delighted, of course, when I actually heard Dr. Charles Kasanda speak, the chair, Mr. Moyo, and of course, Mr. Miko. It was really good, and I felt so overwhelmed, you know, and I see most of the Zambians having their aspirations to become publishers, writers, of course, coming to fruition if at all they actually, join ZATANFAA, which is actually, a better organization that can probably help them realize their dreams. And I was happy because among the issues which were actually highlighted were issues of rights, what should publishers do, and it was good noting that other stakeholders were brought on board to enlighten us on pertinent issues as to how we can actually, realize our dreams and so forth. Well, Zera, is actually a beautiful place to be. It is a delightful and wonderful place to be. Indeed, professionally, it actually reminds me as an upcoming writer to say I must be artistic. There is always a reason as to why an artist comes up with an artifact. An artifact depicts the certain lessons or themes that probably would add value to the lives of the masses. And of course, as a writer, I've learned a lot out of most of the creative arts that I've never seen throughout Zambia. Of course, I've actually found them at Zera. And on the other side, I look at Zera to be, the place of hope that can actually rejuvenate my aspirations of having such. Well, I would like to thank the organizers for bringing us to this beautiful place. Of course, I would like also to thank them for the good policies that they have actually done and their vision that they bring people on board from all provinces of Zambia. I believe together we shall do it. There's power in writing, there's power in art, there's power, in realizing our potential to make Zambia a better place worthy to live in.
My name is Jimmy Kanzobia. I'm the Western Province Focal Point person for ZATANFAA, and we are here today. The experience has been okay. It has been amazing in the fact that we approached and looked at quite a number of interesting things concerning writing, how we can grow as an organization, as well as also touched quite a number of areas that we are looking forward to work on and see how we can improve writing in almost different parts of the country, as well as also as a nation, so that as we are growing, bringing together and growing the sector of writing, I feel there is a lot more that we are yet to do, and so far so good. Everything is okay, despite a few things that we have put in place that we're looking forward to work on. I think one great achievement we've done in our province is that we have managed to at least do a groundwork. We have a few people that have come on board, a few members, and also a few people that are willing to join the organization. But for the fact that they're interested, that gives us a clear picture, and it ignites us to see that people are willing to join, and also not only wanting to join, but wanting to be part of the bigger change that is coming. And also we want to see how we can also put them on board and bring them on board and work with them, so that as we are growing, we're also improving ourselves in many different areas. As a chapter in Western Province, I feel there is a lot more that we are yet to do, because I've seen that the environment itself, it is inviting. The environment itself is really great, because I've seen a number of young people writing, have scripts, but they do not know how to go about them. That's why I felt the need to host even just a few trainings for them to be able to understand the nature of what they're getting into, the nature of the journals, the nature of their writing, the nature of everything that they're doing, so that as we are growing together, they have a proper and a clear understanding that this is it that we have, and that this is that we can bring change, we can use to bring change, and have a society that is writing and reading at the same time.
Yeah, my name's Vista Johnson Mudenda, and I'm from Southern Province, specifically Livingston. I'm a teacher by profession at I'm also have been a reverend, a bishop in the New Apostolic Church, and I'm an author at the same time. I do concentrate much on academic writing. I've written a number of books in academics, that is science-related books. ZATANFAA, I've come into ZATANFAA because it is an organization, an association which is trying to boost what I have already been in, so that as a writer, I'm exactly aware of what is involved and my rights, my pros and cons, and even advice. But more specifically now, when I came into ZATANFAA, I've realized that I must also sensitize other people in Zambia so that we can have indigenous writers. That's why I'm in ZATANFAA now. My role, exactly as I mentioned earlier, is to sensitize people about writing, the importance of having our own indigenous books. In the past, we've been talking about Chinua Achebe's, we're talking about the Abbots, the McKeans who have been writing science books. Now we want our fellow Zambians to come up, write about their homes, write about their villages, write about our country and the subjects which we do here. Now my role in Southern Province is to go out and tell the people the necessity of writing, go into the schools, those with a bit of light, the teachers already, the nurses to write their own books, the doctors to write their own books, and that's what I'm doing.
Okay, thank you very much for inviting me for this interview. My name is Hilda Kafumukache Musuisa. I'm the second vice chairperson for ZATANFAA. I'm based here in Lusaka. So I took part in this AGM which was on during these last 2 days. Year 2020, we've got great expectations. We are going to have a big conference whereby other writers will be invited from other African countries. And then apart from that, we are looking forward to the workshops which will be conducted in the provinces for the first time. We are looking forward to take part in those activities, because it's the first time we're involved in the focal points from the provinces. Zela is a very unique place. I've never seen a place like this one. It's a wonderful place. When I looked at the artifacts, the artwork by the creators, by the artists in Zambia, I couldn't believe it that this work was done by the Zambians, because it's beautiful. The paintings are amazing. The sculptures are also amazing. And the people running the place, they've done so much work that it's really wonderful. I would encourage other organizations like art organizations, writers organizations to come to this place and come and walk in and walk out and see what is there. And maybe even bring their members to come and do their writings and their creative work here.
Yeah, I'm Mabu Samuel, a visual artist, Zambian visual arts contemporary, that is. And I'm a teacher by profession. I am a painter and also a sculptor. I'm an artist. For me, it has just provoked my feelings. I need to think beyond what I see, because a lot of people have put into me and a lot of people theories, but these we do not use them. So as an artist, being found among other artists, I'm just looking at myself to say, what have I done so far? So I'm just provoked to work. The writers, they need not to be encapsulated. They need to come out of the pod, because a lot of people have written same materials. You know, they've recycled information. So we need to be real, just as this place where we've come is about understanding how nature fuses in the contemporary life. So as writers, when you are here, you begin to think beyond the space that you have, because there's a lot of things that people have never written about, and they just need to go around and get issues from nature and write about them.
My name is Maria Mzechesiro. I come from Osaka. I'm a lecturer at Tippington College. But besides that, I'm also a writer. I write TV scripts. I also write novels. I write poetry. My favorite is writing children's stories. When I joined ZATANFAA, my area of interest was mostly textbook writing. I've written English textbooks. I've written textbooks for grade 1, grade 2, up to grade 10 actually. So that's textbook writing. I really hope this association will grow. I really hope it will grow and encourage more writers. More people to write textbooks, especially books from the Zambian perspective, not from the perspective of foreigners. When I look at American books, I'm always looking at English textbooks. You find that in the English textbooks, even teaching a child a noun, they are instilling in that child being American and being proud of being American. That is what I'm looking forward to having in Zambia. Have textbooks that will make Zambian children leave school as proud Zambians who won't feel embarrassed and knowing that they are Zambian and when talking about Zambia to others. So we hope with our help we will instill in textbook writers the fact that they should train these children to be Zambians first, to be proud of being Zambian. Even if they are doing mathematics, they should think Zambian and be Zambian first.